Hello and thanks for joining us. Today we're going to show you how eimstor can be utilized to achieve end-to-end information lifecycle management in just a few minutes using policies and data flow. This is the data flow screen and we have the animation turned on. What we've done here is created a data flow with several remote offices, central offices, and an archive. And you can see that the data based on the policies is going to all of these on an automated basis. This could be data for disaster recovery, CDP, backup, replication, or archive. In addition, at each one of the repositories, we're enabling deduplication. You can also force controls on the data for compliance. So there's a number of different things and different types of tools that you can apply within eimstor. And we're going to show you how to use those with this one policy setup we'll do now.
We're going to start by going over to the eimstor policy definition screen. And here I'm going to create a single policy that will encapsulate several different business processes. First off, I'm going to classify the data. Lots of different ways to do that. Just drag and drop. We'll start with the path. We'll identify the finance user directory. We'll apply the document tag to that. So all documents that meet these specifications within this path will be hit by this particular policy. My next step is to deploy one of the operations. So I'm going to start with continuous data protection. This is going to provide instant restore capability at a local repository within that site. It's going to be a 1-minute snapshot. Retention will be set for 2 hours. I also need to create a backup that will happen on a weekly basis for the HQ site. And that's going to have a 5-month retention cycle. Because these are finance documents, I'm also going to version them for compliance requirements. That'll be for 7 years. And then for full chain of custody throughout the entire life cycle, from creation to eventual expiration, we're going to assign track operation to that. And so for all the documents within this path, we're going to be able to track the creation, reads, accesses, etc. Anybody from any other groups who comes in and touches this or makes a modification will not only log the particular user, but the specific date and the actual change that occurred, and archive that change, be it file or byte level. I'll go ahead and save this as finance docs. Now we'll go over to the data flow screen and apply it. To start off, I'm going to go ahead and grab my file server group, drag and drop that over to the workspace, bring in a data mover, and then I want to attach this to my local repository out there at the remote site. I also want to bring my backups to the HQ repository. Here it is. So I'll add that to the data flow. I also have some versions that I need to put into the corporate archive. I'll bring that in as well. Let's go ahead and attach the policy. Here we have the one we just created. See the red flag pop up until I have the data flow set. It'll remain there. CDPs will be going to the local repository for very fast restore capabilities. HQ will get the backups on a weekly basis. And the archive will get the versions. Red flag went away. You can see how the policy works. Now with the animation, CDPs, backup snapshots, and the versions. I can now go back to my policy definition screen and create a brand new policy that maybe does something else that I need to do. Because eimstor is a unified toolkit, you're really only limited by your imagination in terms of how you'd like to use it. I'll do another policy here. This one will specify the path first, be the general user directory, and I'll target the multimedia files that are out there. Say I'm a systems administrator and I want to block all of this stuff because we have way too much multimedia on the file shares. Well, anyone who wants to create, read, or what have you, any of the multimedia will now be blocked. There may be a problem though, because the marketing group needs to have access to those multimedia files and also the ability to copy or create any of those kinds of files. So we'll exclude them from this policy. I'll save that policy as multimedia block. Then we'll go back to the data flow identify the machine that we want to peg with this policy, and there you have it. Save it, and we're done. What we've just shown you is something that's impossible to reproduce with any other application in the market today, or even a set of applications. You simply can't enjoin different types of capabilities to complete an entire business process. The metadata remains separate, the management of each of the individual point solutions remains separate, and so does the repository data.